Today we are going to look at the MCQ for class test 1. Please do your corrections as you go through this video. Please record down the correct answers for your MCQ first. Question 1. They ask you which of the following is not stated correctly. Answer A. Now, base quantity are basically everything that is found in your table. They are length, mass, time, electric current, temperature, and amount of substance. This is the list that you need to know. And it is true that they are only made up of one SI unit. The list is as follows. Now, answer B is wrong. Why? Derived units basically make up of two or more base units. Say for example, volume. It made up of three base units. They are length, and length. Because length times breadth times height give us volume. So it does not necessarily mean that it is made up of two SI units. It can be two or more. Answer C, prefixes represent multiples of unit in power 10, which is true. As you can see in your notes, we have a list of prefixes and their meaning side by side. Finally, the definition of physical quantity means that it is represented by a numerical magnitude and a unit. This is the definition for physical quantity. For question 2, we need to recall that the diameter of a Earth is about 12,000 kilometers, meaning it's in the power of 10 to the power of 7. So, looking at this data, the radius of the Earth cannot be 10 to the power of 8 because it has to be smaller than the diameter of the Earth. So the only possible answer is D. Question 3, look at ascending order. Ascending means getting bigger and bigger. So let's take a look at answer A. Nano is here, -9. Mega is 6, yes, it's getting bigger. Giga is 9, so it's still getting bigger, but the last one killed this effect because it is kilo, which is power 3. Tetra, not in your syllabus. Then we go to deci, -1. Micro, -6. This is descending order. Answer C, micro, -6. Deci, -1. This is getting bigger and bigger. Yes, good. Giga, which is power 9, and then we kill it by having mega at the last part, which give us descending order. Finally, pico is not something you have learned, but nano is something that you know, -9. Micro is -6. Milli is -3. So D is the only possible answer. For your information, pico is 10 to the power of -12. So answer is D. For question 4, they ask you to measure an object that is between 0.5 meter to 0.6 meter. Now, this actually eliminates half meter rule because the length is larger than half meter. Then they tell us that the accuracy has to be 0.001 meter. If you convert it to cm, it will be equivalent to 0.1 cm. So the only instrument that can measure at least about 0.6 meter and have a precision of 0.1 cm is your meter rule. So your answer is A. Now for question 5, we did mention that if we were looking at measuring something about 2 finger thick, we use micrometer screw gauge. About 1 palm size, we use vernier calipers. Anything larger than a palm, we use meter rule. So here, we are looking at thickness of a coin. It is very small, so we use micrometer screw gauge. External diameter. Now, something interesting about diameter is that if you look at internal or external diameter, remember we have our inner jaw and outer jaw on vernier calipers. These are used to measure inner diameter and external diameter respectively. So the answer for this can only be 8. Now in your upcoming common test, you must be able to read both your vernier calipers and micrometer screw gauge. Let's take a look at this micrometer screw gauge. We know that the first division here is 0. Next one below here is 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and all the way till 5. Can you see that we cannot see the next marking at the bottom? So the main scale is 5.0. Then we look at the timber scale. Can you see that this timber indicates 27? So our timber scale is always taking the 2 digit behind the dot, so it's 0.27. We add both together, it gives us a thickness of 5.27. So answer is 8. Now don't be tricked by answer B, because answer B have a unit of cm. Remember, all micrometer screw gauge measures to mm scale. Next up, we are still on micrometer screw gauge. This time we are looking at the zero error. Can you see that this is a negative zero error? Why? This is 45, so by right this is 47. Therefore, this indicates that our zero have overshot. So it is negative 1, 2, 3. It's indicating that it's negative 3 division away from the zero marking. Knowing this, it means that our error is negative. 3 division implies that our error is negative 0.03 mm. Since our reading that is corrected has to be reading minus error, minus negative 0 error implies I need to add. So minus negative error implies that I need to add 0.03 mm to my reading. Now, for question 8, vernier calipers can be given with the vernier scale at the bottom or on top. In this case, our vernier scales is at the bottom. Can you see that the zero marking have overshot the zero on the main scale and it is in the negative zone? Whenever your zero have overshot the zero on the main scale, it means that you should be counting from the back to the line that is in line. So the one in line with the main scale is 5. So zero error means I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 5 division away, so my error has to be negative 0.05 mm. If they give you answer in mm, it will be negative 0.5 mm. If you get confused about how many decimal place to put, okay, just remember that vernier calipers can record to one more decimal place than your normal ruler, whereas micrometer screw gauge can give you another one. In this question, they tell you that it takes 20.4 seconds to swing from X to Y and back to X 10 times. X to Y and back to X imply one oscillation. So this means that the time taken for 10 oscillation is 20.4. To find one oscillation, which is the period of the pendulum, we take 20.4 divided by 10, which gives us 2.04 seconds. So answer is C. Now for question 10, they tell you that you have different masses and different length for pendulum. Please remember that there's only 2 things that affect period of a pendulum. They are the length of pendulum, where length increase, period increase, and the gravitational field strength, where the larger the gravitational field strength, the smaller the period. So now, when both of them have different length, A cannot be true because both will have different period. Pendulum A, which is longer, has a longer period than pendulum B. Yes, this is definitely correct because we know that the longer the length, the larger the period. So with this, we end the first part of the explanation for your class test 1. Please go to the next video for structured questions.